Drink to the two and get crazy. Or just smoke some weed and get real sleepy. Can you kick flip a horse and land it? Or does that be a mess like feel your heart like a bandit? Here we are, walk around and find out. Here we are, that's what it's all about. Here we are, walk around and find out. Here we are, that's what it's all about. Do you have the passion for fashion and franchising, or just a propensity for giving some lashings? Is your brain stuck on sex? Did you hatch from an egg? Did you want to lose your head again and can't find your legs? Here we are, walk around and find out. Here we are, all the cats is what it's all about. Your head will be all. Kids, I can't talk some more. Your head will lay down. Go pee pee. It is Wednesday, we are wizards, and today is the magical day we call Wizard Wednesday. My God, that song slaps. Channeling in with quantum style through the quantum downs, this is Elf.
And Dotta.
And Burr.
Bear, do you have to go pee-pee?
The Hall of Cats is dead, although I now see a channel above sales, so we'll see. Maybe there's a PP later if the cats are not rugging us again.
Okay, well, if you have to go pee-pee, you can just go. You don't have to ask or anything.
Okay.
I don't understand how Keshmar has everyone access. That feels like a power too great for a Hall of Cats moderator.
Yeah. Hey, Jitsi, can you delete this channel too, like you did the last one?
Yeah, where is Jitsi anyway? Get up here.
Jitsi's busy delivering devastating deletions to the Hall of Cats. We've got a big show today. We've got cult questions. We've got a special guest. We've got updates. And we've got a magnificent lore read at the end. But first, I just want to start out with a very crucial piece of information that is going to change the power imbalance at Magic Machine for quite a while. And that is the fact that I now own the baby Dotta wizard. Dotta, how do you feel about that?
He sounds upset.
I think I heard a baby. What was that again, Dotta?
I think there's you really like threw a stone in Dotta and Mrs. Dotta's house by owning the baby version of their father.
I think what he's trying to tell me is that I only own the baby and not the real Dotta. Is that what you're trying to say?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh, well, just take good care of him. Take good care of my son.
Okay. Yeah, I started the bid on that I think it was Thursday, and the bid was going to end on Sunday, and there was like a 3 or 4 day period where I was terrified that you would figure out and you would outbid me, but I guess you never did.
No, I didn't figure it out, but I'm very interested to see the lore of what a baby Dotta raised by the black goat ends up like. So,
well, stay tuned, because I am in full control of that.
with
Will
a bear snake as a godfather.
yeah.
I
Like, will he
just signed the
follow in the way of
papers.
his father and be like this like dark emo Dotta, and maybe he'll reject against
Yeah.
it? I'm not really sure.
Emo teenager Dotta.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, let's jump into some cult questions. So we kind of touched on this about 2 minutes ago, but Bill Gaines is asking, Elf, are you glad that the Hall of Cats has been nuked, and will it be removed from the Runiverse map as well? Yes, I'm glad that it's been nuked, but no, it will not be removed from the Runiverse map, because I have a feeling that just like with the Wizard Oberon, they will be resurrected. I don't know, Bear. You know more about the Hall of Cats than I do. What's the deal?
They
I have
resurrected it
no idea.
already.
Yeah, okay.
I have no idea. It's impossible to keep track on the narrative that's going on in that channel.
It really is.
But I think another channel popped up, but I'm telling Jitsi even in the Magic Machine server to delete it. Let's just kill it right now.
That cat has 9 lives. I have a feeling it's not going anywhere. Related, Slim is asking, when Hall of Dogs? Slim, I don't know if you've seen the Runiverse map, but the Hall of Dogs doesn't exist. However, there is a wolf dungeon. So that would be my question back to you. When Wolf Dungeon? It's up to the cult to make that happen. And I have a feeling it's going to be a way cooler place than the Hall of Cats, but that's just me. Okay, Snoop Dogg is asking. Okay, this is kind of a lore question. He's asking, are there different magical forces? Or no, he's asking, are the different magical forces perfectly balanced in the Runiverse? Or are there some wizards who are supremely powerful but have an Achilles heel? And then he's like, whenever Superman or Neo turns up in a movie, they are just invincible. Yeah, so he's asking about magical power imbalances. I'm going to say that they are definitely not perfectly balanced. There is certainly a power hierarchy in the Runiverse, just as there is in the real world. All of you who are exercising the magic of creation, you all have different skill levels and therefore display an imbalance. However, just like how Lex Luthor, a mortal human, can often overcome the godlike Superman, it's not always about skill or talent or brute strength. You can be a powerful magic user. You can be an incredible creator or an artist as long as you know what your own individual unique strengths are. You can still make really compelling creations with no skill at all. So embrace the power imbalance. Okay, let's see. Next question. SPZ is asking for canon lore. He wants more lore, like on specific heads. For example, the Djinn, the witches, or the Illuminatuses. SPZ, I will do an Illuminatus lore dump next week. Today, I'm going to do a little bit of a lore dump on the Quantum Shadow because Acid Eater is asking, does the Quantum Shadow equal the underworld of the Runiverse, or is it meant to be something else? No, it's not the underworld. The Quantum Shadow is a placeholder for the unknown. This has magical and scientific implications. So to look at the scientific side of it, physicists, they actually have mathematical errors when they try to calculate the gravitational mass in the universe. They have no idea what accounts for this anomaly, so they insert a placeholder and call it dark matter. It's dark. Yeah, so, and then dark energy is another unaccounted for anomaly when calculating the acceleration and the expansion of the known universe. So in these two examples, the word dark is important here. It's dark because we can't see it. It's unknown. The Dark Ages are named so because humanity went through a phase of cultural decline, And it's an era that, relative to the eras that flanked it, namely the Roman Empire and the the Renaissance, it's a time when historical records were forgotten. Darkness or shadow is the absence of light. When we know where we understand a new idea, we say, I see, as if it's an implicit acknowledgement of the light being shed upon the subject. You're no longer in shadow, you see it. So that's why I'm using the word dark as just sort of a placeholder for the unknown. Now, for the quantum component of the quantum shadow, I'm just fascinated by this intersection between mysticism and science. And of all the fields of study in science, quantum mechanics is a hotbed of mystical thinking. One of the best debates you'll ever see is this one between Sam Harris, Michael Shermer, and Deepak Chopra. It is truly a clash of the magic and the machine. The magical thinker, i.e. Deepak Chopra, he constantly tries to justify his ideas with science, and the two scientists on the panel, Sam Harris and Michael Shermer, just continuously throughout the whole debate just rip him apart and poke holes in his magical thinking with facts and logic. So it's this dynamic that I just think it speaks a lot to the human condition. I could speak on this more, but in short, the quantum shadow is just this placeholder for the unknown. We all think we have a handle on the world, whether we're Sam Harris or Deepak Chopra, and no matter how much understanding we gain, there's always a remaining shadow. And so this shadow is always out of reach, and it's always imperceptible. So it's always got like a bit of quantum weirdness to it, and it's always causing really weird shit to happen. And so that's the quantum shadow. It's just like it's the placeholder for the unknown. Okay, and then Leaf Dojang he asked a big long question about the Book of Lore on the website, and how it's kind of clunky right now. Basically, the short answer is we are working on the Book of Lore. We gave the website a huge facelift, and the Book of Lore is next. It's in development. I know it's not great right now, but we're working on it. I promise. Yeah, Dotta, do you have anything to add to the website or the Book of Lore?
We're working on it. I don't have anything beyond that. Just that we have so much we want to add to the Book of Lore to make it more cohesive around a character, making room for some of the things that we want to do. Like, so for example, questing will have things that affect your character's page on the Book of Lore. Making it easier to read, a little bit more like natural to read. So yeah, all those things are coming.
Yeah, and Leaf Dojang, you're asking one thing you asked specifically about is when you click on any of the character collections, it takes you to the Book of Lore entry, just like per wizard, warrior, soul, and so on. We're actually building like full comprehensive character pages that how do I describe it? It'll be more like OpenSea, how you can properly search the tokens by trait and rarity metrics. Am I making sense, Dotta? Can you maybe explain that better?
We're gonna make like a collections page, right? It's where you'll be able to like have filters like you do on OpenSea. So if you're like, oh, I want to look at all the kobolds or whatever, you'll be able to do that.
Yep.
Cause is working on that right now.
Yep, exactly. Yep. So big facelift on the Book of Lore coming soon. Yeah, and so, okay, I think the Runes TCG guys wanted to come up, Giveahoot or Meeple Dad. If you guys want to come up and talk about, oh wait, here we go. There he is. Giveahoot, hello.
Hey, how's it going? Happy Wizard Wednesday, everyone.
Happy Wizard Wednesday.
What's happening?
Yeah, what's going on with Runes TCG?
Oh, nothing. Just a little tournament that we're gonna host, and we've combined forces with the Runiverse game to actually host a tournament with Runiverse land as a prize. So nothing's happening over here. Just a little bit of that.
That's amazing. Wait, so whoever wins the tournament gets a free plot of Runiverse land?
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Whoa, Dotta, do we approve this?
I think that you've been working with
Yes,
Matazuki.
yeah.
Matazuki can
Exactly.
approve
So,
it. Yeah.
so Meeple Dad, Matazuki, and I have been chatting, and huge thanks to Matazuki and the Runiverse team for just, I mean, even being open to this, like, really speaks to kind of like just the ethos of Forgotten Runes. The cult provides Web3 interoperability, all of this stuff. And so huge thanks to the team and then Matsuki, who kind of helped make this happen. I just actually made a tweet from the Runes Twitter account. I don't know how to add tweets to a space, or even if I can, but I'll post it in the Discord. And yeah, so the tweet includes an actual blog post that the Runiverse team made about the tournament. Details a little bit about what Runes is for their community, and also details the prizes. So first place is going to get a free Homestead Runiverse land plot. Second place is going to be booster packs from Runes plus Runiverse land sale allow lists. Third and fourth place will get an allow list as well. And then everyone who enters the tournament and plays their first game is going to get a free booster pack from Runes as well. So should be a lot of fun. And yeah, I don't know. It's
fun.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I can't wait to see it. Oh, I just shared the tweet up top.
Amazing.
So that way folks can see like where to sign up, and it's going to be great.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for doing that. And just for people who aren't aware, Runes, we launched the core set, I think about 2 weeks ago. No, about a month ago. Actually, time flies. Wow. Launched about a month ago. We've been kind of developing the game, adding some features. The mint is still very much open. It's actually an indefinite mint. Just so the barrier to entry is dirt cheap. Everyone can mint packs. Everyone can play. We want as many people to experience Runes as possible. So yeah, hop in the Discord, learn more about it, mint some packs. It's a ton of fun. It's all you really need is a few packs to actually have like competitive hands. So yeah, and obviously feel free to ping me on any Discord if you have any questions. But here, let me post the tweet and in the Discord. There you go. Cool. Yeah, it's there. But yeah, I don't know. I'm super excited. And again, just a shout out to Meeple Dad, who's already hosted one tournament in February because he just loves the game and wants to. And then for Matatsuki for doing this and he mentioned this to me a few weeks ago, and I was like, oh, this would be cool. And then all of a sudden, like 2 days ago, he's like, yeah, the winner's gonna get a free plot of land, like already decided. And so I was kind of blown away.
That is fantastic. No, I was joking about us approving that. I'm glad. I'm glad that land is a prize for this. And I just got to say, like, if there's anyone in the cult or anyone period who has not minted a pack of Runes TCG cards yet, what are you doing? You have to do it. It is one of the best minting experiences I've had in months. The cards are amazing. To this day, I am still seeing new cards that I didn't know existed. It's just like one of the best things to ever come from the cult.
That's very
I just
high
tweeted
praise.
about it.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. It's been so much fun creating this. We're just getting started. Like, as I mentioned, we just released a new feature building decks a few days ago. We just integrated ENS with the game, so definitely look forward to continuing to build this and continuing to create new art. Actually, keep a lookout. We've been doing some really amazing art. A special card for a special someone. That should be announced soon, and then we should be doing some custom in-game art for this tournament actually. So yeah, I don't know, it's just gonna be a lot of fun.
It's basically like if you had a chance to buy a pack of Magic the Gathering Edition 1 cards. The chance is staring you right in the face right now. Go do it.
Fun.
Awesome. That's awesome, Giveahoot. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see who wins the land. Yeah, I guess we could have Matto up, but I think Matto's traveling right now, so he can't come on at the minute. Bear, do you know where our special guest is for the day?
Let me ping them really quickly. Hold up.
Okay, no problem. While we're waiting on that, I wanted to make another fun announcement. So I'm a big fan of a guy named Raoul Pal. I don't know if y'all know who that is. I'm sure some of you do. He's a big time like macro investor who has gotten into crypto as of like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. So he's a big voice on the crypto scene. Dotta, do you have like a good description of Raoul Pal?
Yeah, so he's the founder of Real Vision, which is like a fantastic kind of like media company for investing. It's completely worth the subscription. Like if you're into crypto, like it's basically like I don't know. I think of it almost as like Crunchyroll for like the stock market. And like so you basically have a subscription. This isn't sponsored. I just have like had a subscription before. And it's like it's like a private, I don't know, it's like masterclass or something. You pay a monthly fee and you get access to their library of like courses about the stock market or whatever. There's a really, really fun documentary that they have on the history of gold. And I think that like it's kind of weird watching the history of gold on that platform made me even more bullish on like Bitcoin, because it actually helps you understand this idea that like the value in gold comes from example like for the effort that it takes to like get it out of the earth, right? That like all of the gold on earth, if anybody has any, they will charge you a market price in order for you to get it from them. And then like the cost of gold like increases marginally with like the amount of effort that it costs to like dig it out of the earth by like whatever means possible. And so it's this really, really well explored, well thought out documentary on kind of how it's like that the effort that you put into pulling gold out of the ground and refining it actually bakes into the material its value. And for me, even though I'd loved cryptocurrency even by the time I watched it, I don't know, something clicked for me even about how that actually gives like Bitcoin its own value. So whatever, that's a total tangent. Raul Paul is the founder, I think, of Real Vision, and yeah, we've been big fans for a long time. And he just did an interview with the creator of the Nowhere. Wait, what is it? New Here documentary. Yeah, let me see if I can find the tweet.
Yeah, it's with Dan Sickles. We had him on Wizard Wednesday a few months ago. He made the New Here documentary. It's not released yet, but me and Forgotten Runes is featured in it. And so basically the biggest what I'm getting at is that uh, Forgotten Runes, a sneak peek of the Forgotten Runes footage from the film, was featured in this Raoul Pal video.
It's so fun. It
So
looks
I
so
just-
good too. They like
Yes.
they billboard out some of the characters, and there's like an Anuran like walking across a courtyard. I posted a GIF, but you can watch the video in the pinned tweet.
Yeah, I squealed with delight when I saw it.
Yeah.
And I love Dan Sickles. I love Raoul Pal. And basically, it's my mission to get an interview with Raoul at some point, because I think we would have a lot to talk about. Raoul really understands the value of mimetic culture. Listen to his interview with Punk 6529 if you want a really good take on all of this. Punk 6529 is another person I'd love to talk to eventually. I think he describes himself as the most bullish person on NFTs in the world. But yeah, Raoul Pal, another really just great thing he talks about is the network effect and just how valuable and how applicable network effect is to almost everything, tech, culture, it's everywhere. But anyway, I don't know. We could like talk for hours on this. Only point I want to make now is check out that video that Dotta just pinned to the top. This is something that's going to be coming down the pike in the future. It's very exciting.
So exciting. I loved seeing wizards in this like well lit 3D environment, and then even in the clip they rendered the book of lore as like a 3D book, and then they like open the page and there's some lore inside, and it was just really, really fun.
It's great to have. It's I think one of the benefits to this is I think Dan won Sundance a few years ago for one of his films, and And so to have someone at the helm who has such a high bar of quality be producing this, I think it's, we're starting to see how much love and effort is going into the film, and I think they found a really unique way to present all the different projects and artists that are involved. So it's cool, and it's going to have major distribution, and it will maybe it'll make it to Netflix before our own show.
Right.
Yeah, and while let's see, I can't get the speaker up here. Twitter might be glitching, but Bear, I just want to give credit to you. You're like, again, the linchpin behind this whole thing. You made the Dan Sickles connection for us. You got me into this film. So once again, it's just another door that Bear opened.
Kicking down doors. Well, there's a lot of friends along the way, some people in the cult. And yeah, I mean, listen, we're all here for it. Let's shout the rooftops.
Exactly. Nard, hello.
I wonder if our special guest knows that you have to be on iPhone in order to become a speaker. If you open Spaces in your browser, you can't come up on stage.
Yeah, you need a phone, Reilly.
Hold on, texting.
Okay.
We're going to have Reilly Brown, the comic artist, come up here in a sec as soon as we solve these tech issues.
He's so good.
Yeah, Riley's freaking amazing. But in the meantime, Nard, hello.
Hey, everyone.
Hello.
Thanks for bringing me up.
Yeah.
I just wanted to just remind people and also bring to attention just anyone that joined the Nifty League and Forgotten Runes tournament that's ongoing right now. We're in the first stage for Division 2. And then, so what that means is you basically have 72 hours to compete your games, and you sort of have to make your matches yourself and ping the person that is in your group in order to schedule them. But you can do them whenever your schedules align in the next 2 days, and that's for the first stage of the Division 2.
Nard, I'm so glad you came up and said all that. I love what Nifty League is doing with Forgotten Runes. The tournament is still happening, so there's still time to get into that.
Yeah, it's been really fun just seeing the two communities collide and play Smashers with each other. I've been streaming the games on the cult chat every once in a while, and I'll continue to do that just if anyone's interested. Feel free to jump in and just hear me get destroyed playing.
Hey, Nard, how's Soda doing?
He's good. He's right beside me. We're outside. I've learned not to walk around when I'm on Spaces because all you hear is the crunching of my feet. But I got to go pick up his poo right now. It's, literally what I'm about to do. But anyway,
right,
thanks for having me up.
Yep.
See ya.
Okay, Wizards and Warriors, let's welcome to the stage, first time on Wizard Wednesday, longtime friend, Reilly Brown, the amazing and talented artist on our comic series. Reilly, hello.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Good. So glad to have you here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me here. It's been great working with you guys.
Oh, you too, man. We've been wanting to bring you on for a long time. The work you've been doing just blows my mind, and I think I speak for everyone. But yeah, I mean,
did I lose you? Did you lose me?
Nope, you're here. You're here. But yeah, Reilly, just I don't know, just tell us about yourself. Who are you? What have you done in your life? How did you end up here?
Give us your story.
I'm a comic book artist. I've been working professionally as a comic artist since 2005, which at this point is a pretty long time ago. And I've worked for Marvel and DC and various other publishers. I'm probably best known for my work on Deadpool over at Marvel. And I also recently did this Batman vs. Fortnite comic book that was pretty popular also. But yeah, I've done a lot of stuff, and I don't know how I got hooked up with the Wizards guys. One day,
Looks like the quantum shadow has silenced Reilly. We heard one day, and then he was gone.
I thought it was me, but no.
No. Reilly, I think we lost you.
Well, I'm sharing a bunch of Reilly's art. That's not like Forgotten Runes art. It's just like some of his fantastic art from his Twitter account up on the space while we wait for him to recover.
Bear, I know that Reilly was someone that you brought into us. How did you find him?
I feel like Nalgene may have sniffed him out when we were looking for potential artists. So I think Nalgene gets props for finding him. And then I remember the first time I spoke to him on the phone, I was with you having breakfast, if you remember that.
I do remember.
And so we were very nervous because we really wanted to be in business with him, and most comic book artists hate NFTs. So I was like trying to like dance around this concept of like us being a Web3 project without scaring him away, but he was very open-minded.
Are you there, Reilly?
Nope.
I see the audio
I don't know what's
like
going on.
clicking and oh, there you are.
Oh, there we go. Hey, we can hear you now. I heard you.
Damn it, Twitter.
Oh, man.
The one time we bring Reilly on.
Reilly, if you want, you can leave and then come back, and then we'll get
maybe
you
that'll
on here.
help.
Happens to me all the time.
Yeah, Reilly, try disconnecting and then come back. While he's doing that, I'm just gonna say, one thing I really love about the comics, and I've said this before, is that it's a real proof of concept for what Forgotten Runes is all about, which is the collaborative legendarium, the idea that instead of one creative authority building a world, an entire community of fans and IP holders builds the world together. It's the idea that the fans of the franchise get to take part in the financial and creative development of the IP itself. So it's one thing for me or Dotta or Bear to proclaim all of this as an abstract idea, but no, we actually have tangible proof printed on a page. Here's a comic book that we made that's living proof that this idea works. We successfully brought a piece of legacy media into Web3 and transmuted it into the collaborative legendarium. Here is proof that this can work. Okay, so Reilly, are you back?
I think I am. I'm not sure when.
Yeah, we can hear you. You sound great.
Good.
Yep.
Okay, good. I don't know where I got cut off before, or if you heard anything I said earlier.
You said one day, and then that was it.
Okay, well, basically, I'm a professional comic book artist. I've been working for Marvel and DC and various other companies since 2005. I'm probably best known for my work on Deadpool. I've done a lot of Deadpool stuff over the years. And I also have I recently did a Batman vs. Fortnite comic that was pretty popular as well. And so now I'm working with these Wizard Cult guys. And honestly, you asked how I got hooked up with them, and I'm not entirely sure myself. One day, Bear just reached out to me, and I was kind of wondering, what is it that drew you to my work? What did you see of mine that said this is the guy that we want to work with?
I saw a competent draftsman, an amazing visual storyteller, and an artist who didn't hate NFTs.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of artists that don't hate them, but just secretly because they're waiting for the bad press to blow over.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that we loved about your work, Reilly, was that it's like, while it feels contemporary, I think you draw inspiration, and would love to hear who you're inspired by. But I think just looking at it, you can tell that there's like this love for like the medium of comic books, and I think you sort of honor a lot of the classic style, and there's this mix, and so your work really popped off for us. And yeah, it's just this mix of old and new. It feels super fresh, and obviously with the colors that you work with, and it just felt so perfect. And I think, we know now you did the first cover for issue number 1, or one of them. Just seeing the pencils and the inks and the colors coming in for issue number 1 and number 2, it's just so incredible. Every time we get some, we share in the company Discord, and everybody just like fawns over them.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, you asked me my influences are. I think stuff. Like, I know you guys are a big fan of the animation studio Madhouse, and those are some of my favorite stuff. I've got like concept art books from those guys going back years. And then other than that, I love superhero comics. Like Jim Lee is one of my biggest influences. I don't think my work looks much like him, but I'm always looking at his stuff for inspiration. And I don't know, it's a lot of different things.
Yeah, I think it's really fun that we've got a superhero artist working on Wizards, because I feel like superheroes are really just kind of the modern day version of Wizards. I mean, that's really what a superhero is. It's just another wizard. And so, yeah, I mean, that's just one way to bring Wizards into the modern era, is superhero-fy them.
Yeah, I mean, I think culturally, superheroes are kind of like the modern American folklore, right? Like wizards or witches or Baba Yaga or whatever, trolls, ogres, and all that stuff from the old country. So, I mean, yeah, you're totally right.
Totally.
That it fits the same thing. Because it's like, as opposed to, you have like myths, legends, and folklore, and they all kind of are different things. Like legends are sort of based on real people that have been extrapolated to historic or to heroic size, but folklore is just kind of stories that people come up, and everyone knows that they're just stories and weird characters and stuff like that. And that's exactly what superheroes are. They're all kind of like, the morality lessons you get from, like, an old story is like, don't go into the woods or you're going to run into a witch and she'll eat you. And now it's like, be good, otherwise Batman's going to tie you up and send you to Arkham Asylum. So
I did not realize that we had chosen such a perfect artist for this project. Everything that you just said is so Forgotten Runes.
Yeah.
I love it, Reilly. Yeah, I remember Stan Lee saying something about like the Greeks and Romans had their pantheon of gods, and now the modern day American culture pantheon of gods is like Superman and Batman and Thor and Aquaman. And
yeah, totally.
Yeah, super cool. Yeah, okay, I'm going to ask you like a kind of a silly question, because there's really no answer to this, but I'm just curious how you would answer it. What is more important in a comic book, the images or the words?
That's so, that's an argument people have on social media all the time, and I really don't think that there's one answer to that, because they're both so important. I mean, without the words there, it's, you have a illustration or a drawing or a painting, but which is a thing, and those are great. And without the pictures, you just have prose, which is also a thing, and those are great. But coming together as a comic, it's like the fusion of both of them together. So that's what, I mean, that's the answer. Like, what makes it a comic is having both of them together. You take one out or the other, and you just have a different thing that's not a comic anymore.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. Everybody's got a different answer to that. I figured as the artist, you might lean more into the images, but
well, I'm trying to be diplomatic. I can easily say, if you erase all the word balloons, you'd still know what was happening in the story, because, if I'm doing my job right, you should still be able to read it.
Exactly.
But, I want to be nice to our writer friends out there too.
It's funny, because Joe said to me one day that he's like, I just hope my words are enough for Reilly, because I know that comics are primarily a visual medium, and now you're like sort of being nice to Joe and said, the words are just as good. But no, I agree. They're both critical, and that's what a comic is.
Yeah. Well, it is a visual medium, but the words become a visual thing in the comic. I mean, that's one of the interesting things when you don't realize it as much when you're just reading it, but once you start making a comic, you realize just the physical presence of the words on the page matter a lot as far as how you're planning on the page and what it looks like and stuff. And how many words can fit into a word balloon before the word balloon just takes up too much space or it looks weird or whatever. Like, there's a lot of weird visual stuff that has to affect the words as well, which is, you don't think about, but it's an interesting part of the process.
For sure. Yeah. So one of the interesting things about, our project is that again, it's this idea of the collaborative legendarium where all the stories and the creative development isn't just from like one creative authority or one studio. It's an entire an entire community of people, many of which are in the audience right now, that are contributing to the creative development. And so, as like a lot of the stories that are in the comic are pulled from and inspired by the Book of Lore, which is stories written about our community. And what I really love is that, like, even you and Joe, who, didn't write like an entry in the Book of Lore, you're still part of this collaborative legendarium. Like, you're taking these pixel art character designs and then you are adding your own creative spin on it. And just developing it further. And yeah, I mean, like Dotta said earlier, every time you submit a page to us, we share it in our Discord and we all just like shit our pants over it.
Oh, cool. That's fun. I love the Book of Lore. I refer to it frequently when I'm drawing, like, if there's going to be a bunch of wizards in the background. Like, I don't know. I think I can say this. There's a scene in the first issue where we're in a place with a whole bunch of wizards, and I'm like, well, I just have to like fill the background up with guys. So I kept going back to the Book of Lore for ideas on, like, let's say, okay, where I need 3 more wizards. Who's back here? Okay, that one's cool. That one's cool. That one's cool. And I don't know if I drew between the pixel art and the way I drew them, I don't know if anyone's going to be able to recognize their specific wizard, but so everyone I drew in there is somebody somewhere out there. So
no, that's so great. That's so great. Yeah, it's just like, we call the pixel characters creative primitives. They are like a seed of creation from which infinite amounts of visual looks can be expanded and extrapolated. And it's just so much fun to see the way that you interpret these very simple pixelated characters.
Yeah, I just hope that I do a good job. I hope that, like, when I draw my version of them, the guy, who it's their wizard doesn't say, "Hey, that's not what my guy looks like." I don't know, because sometimes I don't want them all to look the same. Like, I want them to look different. So some of them are going to be taller or shorter or fatter or whatever. So,
Yeah, no, it's a concern I always run into as well. So far, we've had no complaints, but I know there's going to come a day when we, like in the show or further issues of the comic, or someone's going to be upset the way we depicted their wizards. But it hasn't happened yet.
Good.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Bear or Dotta, comments, questions. I know that there's going to be a lot more announcements on the comic soon. Bear has been working on some very exciting things. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's all the questions that I've got, actually.
I love every page that we see from you. I just feel so privileged to work with you and just so thankful to have your interpretations of characters put to the page. I don't think you should worry about the person who owns the wizard being bothered by it, because I think that just everything I've seen, I love so much. I think that the chance that someone will see your interpretation and dislike it is very, very low. And in fact, I think Yeah, we're just going to say the opposite.
There's a very fun. I mean, honestly, drawing, like interpreting the pixel graphics as fully drawn characters is one of my favorite parts about this project. And there's one scene in issue 2 that I'm particularly fond of, where it's just got a bunch of wizards in it, and I just really enjoyed the designs I came up with, especially because.
Do you want to describe that scene for us a little bit as a little teaser?
I mean, I don't. Well, it's just basically. I don't think it's giving anything away. There's a scene where a bunch of wizards are sitting around, playing a board game of some sort, and and so what I thought was fun for me is that in the script, Joe picked out a bunch of wizards that he wanted to use, and he gives me the little graphics of them so that I know what they look like. And half of them, maybe more than half, had like almost the exact same outfit on, except for one thing was different. I was like, okay, how do I make these guys different? And I think that if you just looked at the drawing and didn't see the graphic, you'd have no idea that they mostly look the same. Like, I really, had a good time. But I also think I hit that spot where they look exactly like the graphic, but also totally unique. Like, even though the guys all look the same, they look different in my drawings, and that was a lot of fun.
I love that.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and yeah, this is just further proof of concept showing how this all can work. The fact that you took somewhat similar looking characters and still got different looks out of them, it's just great. It shows how like a talented artist can make it work. I think one interesting thing about comics is that, like, unlike TV or film, okay, you take like a film, and there's thousands of people that work on it. There's the actors, the director, the producer, the script writers, the art directors, the photographers. I mean, all these different people are bringing different creative visions to this one piece of work. And so oftentimes it's really difficult to like show a single person's creative vision. It's really hard for like the auteur to really express themselves on a film, just because there's so many different people working on it. But with a comic, it's really just you and Joe. And like, ironically, you're using a lot of content from a whole community of people. But at the end of the day, it's like the visual is all you, Reilly.
Right.
What do you think about that freedom that comic writer or artists have?
That, honestly, exactly what you described is what got me into comics to begin with. Like, when I was a kid, like first grade, people ask you a lot, like, what you want to be when you grow up. And I loved drawing, so I knew I wanted to be an artist, but I didn't know what kind of art I wanted to do, because when I thought of like artists painting stuff for museums, I just thought of landscapes and stuff like that, which I thought was kind of boring. And I wanted to draw cool stuff, like I saw, like Transformers and Ninja Turtles and stuff like that I'd see in the cartoons I liked as a kid. But also, at the end of the cartoon, there'd be a ton of credits, and so I knew a lot of people worked on it. And I was like, I'm sure my job would be to animate doors opening and closing. I wouldn't get to do any of the cool stuff. But then, like, I went to a birthday party one time, and as a party favor, my friend was giving out Marvel comic books. And I was flipping through it, and it was all the cool stuff that I loved from the cartoons, but there was only one guy drawing, or like, one guy, an inker and a colorist. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. This guy gets to draw all the cool stuff, and he's in control of the whole thing. And so I was like, that's it. I want to do that. I want to get into comic books. And so that was always kind of the plan. It was just for the reasons that you said, because now I get to have control and kind of have my vision put into being, rather than just animating doors opening and closing or whatever mundane stuff that animators have to deal with.
Yeah, it's such a good example of like why you need kind of like role models, or like people in your life, or things that you see in your life that just be like, you can do this.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it seemed really possible to me somehow as a kid. I was like, okay, that seemed achievable, and it was. Although now, looking back at it now, like having been in the industry so long and met so many people who try to get into comics, who it's very competitive. I didn't, if I were to, like, nowadays, I'd probably be like, oh my god, it's impossible. Like, so many people want to get into comics. Like, how can you ever do that? But as a kid, it just seemed doable. So I always planned on doing it, and it worked out for me, luckily.
On our team, we give all the doors to Bear Snake. But I wanted to actually have one more question. So, one of my philosophies in terms of when you're like hiring and working with artists is I try not to give try to give the least amount of notes as possible, because I find that like the best work often comes from just letting the artist do their thing. You don't need to direct them, like, especially if you find someone mega talented.
No, I lost you again.
Oh, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Hello.
Can you hear us, Reilly?
He must have the same model phone that I do.
Yeah, seriously. He must be on Starlink.
Okay, yeah. So all I'm saying is like we give Reilly almost no notes at all.
Right.
Like he just turns in something and we're like, perfect, it's golden. And my
and I can give a little. Oh, while Reilly's connecting, I can give a little insight into like, that's one of the things that's like so important when we work with an artist, right? Is that you're able to give them just like a minimal amount of direction. We look for the same thing too with our programmers too, and just like our team in general, which is just like, can we give you a high level goal and then you can execute? Because there's like 10,000 decisions between here and shipping, and so then like, can you make these like talented, good taste decisions along the way? And like, yeah, there have been times where I encourage Elf. I'm like, Elf, why don't we use this artist? You can just tell them what to do, and then they come back with something that's like, and Elf be like, I can't help this person like be at the level that they need to be, and so then it's so refreshing, like a fresh glass of water when you find someone who can make those choices on their own.
Sorry, I just got reconnected. I didn't hear. I kind of think I know what the question is, but I didn't hear the whole thing. Like I got cut off.
Yeah.
When you were.
Yeah, I'll just quickly repeat it. Basically, you're so good and talented that we never give you any notes or ask you to redraw anything. And I'm just curious. You don't have to name any names, but like, do these other big comic studios ever like make you totally redraw things, or do they micromanage your drawings, or like is there a difference between working with Magic Machine and working with a big name comic publisher?
My experience isn't too much different. I've never really gotten very many notes from my publishers before, and usually it's usually it's stuff I agree with, or it'll be stuff that'll be like company policy or whatever. It's like and also some like there's been, I don't know, like one time that springs to mind is that's kind of funny. There's an issue of Deadpool that I was drawing where Deadpool he like kidnaps someone's family to kind of use them as bait to catch a bad guy, or maybe the bad guy I don't know. I wanted to say it was Deadpool that kidnapped them, but maybe the guy was using the family as bait to catch Deadpool. I don't know. But I just thought it was such a ridiculous situation and I was just kind of thinking, in the character's point of view, this is the worst day of their life. They just got kidnapped. They don't know if they're going to die. There's this lunatic in a mask who's like tied them up. And so I have like, they're like bound and gagged with tears coming down their.
Oh no, somebody bound and gagged Reilly. He's cutting off at the most perfect times today.
I don't know what.
There we go. We got you.
Am I here?
Oh, yep, there you go.
Am I here? Okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
We heard bound and gagged.
Yeah. Well, so the characters are bound and gagged, but you see their eyes, and they're like, tears are coming out. And the editor was like, "Can you just erase the tears? It makes it too sad." And she's like, "It's funny if they're just tied up. It's sad if they're crying." And so those are the type of notes that I get. There's another time in a Hercules series where like he's in bed with some woman, and he's just like, after a night of I'm sure debauchery and being a gentleman, as Hercules is known to be, but he's like waking up, or covering him up to his waist or whatever, And the editor asked for like, can you make the covers up a little higher just because, it's like, this is the main character. We don't want it to be too, I'm like, okay, that, so like minor things like that. But nothing,
Reilly,
nothing too major. So,
I can tell you that I'll never ask
because
you
of that, because I've definitely heard of other guys that have had to redo significant amounts of work. So,
right. Yeah, I'll never ask you
Might
to
go
erase
out again?
tears
God damn it.
or. Oh, I guess he can't hear me.
We can hear you just fine.
Okay, good. You're just being quiet. Okay.
Yeah, but maybe you can't
No,
hear
you
me.
maybe just can't hear Elf. Sometimes Spaces will do this, like you can hear one person but not the other. So Elf was talking. We all heard you, what you were saying, Riley.
Okay, sorry.
You're great. He was saying, Elf was saying he would never ask you to erase tears from a character because he has no soul.
Yeah, and he was also then going to say he would never ask you to pull the sheets up, but pull them down.
Right? Yeah.
That is exactly what I was going to say.
Issue 3 is going to get real weird then.
Yeah.
Please.
My kids are going to read this comic.
Your kids are about to become adults.
Yeah.
No, Reilly, something that we haven't even really spoken about is sort of all the stuff that I've been working on. And so we should catch up. We should catch up this week, and I'll bring you up to speed. I know you know a little bit, but we've been talking to Nicole about making sure that all this amazing work that you're doing gets to see the light of day in the biggest and best way. So it's gonna be very exciting, and they'll be anywhere and everywhere. And so we're excited.
Awesome. I'm psyched about that.
Yep. Okay, we only have like 5 minutes left. Reilly, thank you so much for coming. You're welcome back anytime. But yeah,
yes, thank you. It's been so great. Thanks, Reilly. He might not have heard you. It's been so good to have you. Please feel free to come back anytime.
Oh yeah, my pleasure,
guys.
So
much. Yeah. Incredible. I just love your work so much, and I just like cry with happiness every time we see stuff you turn in. So thank you.
Oh, thanks so much. Thanks so much, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
And so is this? Are we wrapping up now? Should I?
We have some lore by everyone's favorite storyteller, Sharon. She has come up on stage, and so you're free to stay up on stage and as Sharon reads her lore.
Well, just real quick before I go, or before Sharon takes over, if you don't mind, can I just plug my podcast that I do?
Please,
of course.
Every week, I've got the Hypothetical Island podcast. And it's me, my buddy George O'Connor, who's another comic book artist, and we interview other comics creators and animators and toy designers and cool creative people that do pop culture stuff. So give it check it out when you can. It's a lot of fun, and so it's very silly, very we ask a lot of stupid questions. It's definitely questions people don't usually hear, which makes it fun. So, but amazing. Yeah, Hypothetical Island, check it out.
I just shared the account and the link up here in the space, so that way people can find it and follow. Amazing.
Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, Reilly.
Thanks for jumping on, man.
Sharon, hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
We sure can. Do you have a story for us?
Hi. Today I'm going to read you my Runiverse story from the fall. All Hallows Eve. The flames of the campfire crackled as the girls watched the sparks float up in the air. Galatea pulled her hoodie back and asked, "Mom, how about a story?" Nergada's eyes sparkled as she sat up. "Sure, which one do you want to hear?" Setting her snacks down, Galatea asked, "I like any story about Warrior Kathleen." "Good choice," replied Nergada. "It's a perfect autumn night to talk about a legend. Let me think, which one?" Nergada glanced up at the sky, closed her eyes for a moment, and touched the rune of air she was wearing. Letting it go, her hands began to act like they were holding a large ball while she recited into the wind. Legends of old, legends of new, appear before us now so we can view. A large sphere appeared and floated up from her hands. Inside of it swirled different colors. Warrior Kathleen, commanded Nergada, and the sphere turned into pictures of the warrior. In unison, the friends of Galatea blurted out, "Wow!" Galatea smiled as she softly shook her head no, while placing her pointer finger over her lips. The girls smiled and nodded back knowingly. Taking a deep breath and letting it out slowly, Nergada said, "All Hallows Eve battle." The sphere changed into a picture of a dark purple beast flying through the woods. It looked right at the girls, stuck out its tongue, and screeched. The friends huddled together. Nergada continued. One night each year, evil things emerge from the darkness and roam. Deep in the emerald forest, a beast flew into the unfamiliar woods. It perched on the branch of 100-year oak tree, gradually turning its head and searched. Warrior Kathleen had been on guard all night when she spied him. His haunting eyes, large wings, and the blue horns on top of his head gave away he was the Nightmare Imp. Legendary for his use of blood magic and black magic. Kathleen took her sword and pushed it into the dirt while she reached for the rune of earth. She mouthed some words, barely making a sound. My oath is my promise to protect and guard. Those who are good, I'll keep safe from harm. Releasing the rune, she pulled up the sword and slowly made her way from tree to tree until she was a short distance from the beast. The backside of a large willow tree kept her hidden. She waited, hoping for the right moment to attack. It wasn't long before they both heard noises off in the distance. Kathleen charged around the tree. Both of her arms swung the sword as she attempted to stab the imp in the stomach. The sword bounced off as the imp slashed at her. Kathleen ducked, but one of the beast's gigantic wings smacked her. Her body hit the willow, and the world went dark. The scream of the imp and the smell of decay jarred Kathleen back into reality, but her eyes stayed shut. The beast landed and rolled the warrior over. He opened his mouth and bent down. A long tongue came out and licked her cheek. Kathleen remained still. The imp leaned back and hissed, "I could snap you and be done." Under her cloak, Kathleen tightened the grip on her sword. A stream of blood trickled down her arm, over bruises and through clumps of dirt. It joined a larger cut at her wrist. From above, a branch crackled as a speckled falcon drove straight at the imp's head. The Nightmare Imp looked up, and Kathleen let out her own battle cry. The beast turned his head as her blade, with its tip glowing hot, cut open the skin under his eye. Black blood trickled down the imp's face as he let out a piercing roar. He grabbed her by the throat with his left arm, and together they lifted into the air. His purple claws slashed across her torso, and he dropped her. Kathleen plummeted, motionless, to the forest floor. The imp flew down and stood on all fours over her. Yet, because she was so much smaller than him, they were still several feet apart. His face grimaced when he saw her clothes had no sign of being ripped. Kathleen's chest rose slightly and her lips parted. Not dead yet? You are a tough one. Several black splatters fell onto the swollen and bloody face. The imp smirked as he watched drop of his black blood bubble as it disappeared into a gash on her forehead. Closing his own purple glowing eyes for a moment, while his own bleeding wound sizzled and grew new skin. Looking back, the imp noticed ornately carved beads braided into her autumn hair. He licked his lips and bent forward. He sniffed and got a heavy, earthy smell, like the moss that grows on the dark side of trees. Who are you? You are not a wizard, yet you have magical things. You fight like a warrior who has fought many battles, yet you are young. How did you know to attack my eyes, forest girl? He hissed. The rune on her necklace caught his attention. Picking it with a talon, he tried to snap it off. The heavy cord wouldn't break. The imp took his teeth and tried to bite it, but the razor-sharp canines didn't even leave a mark. His hand reached towards her throat as the falcon screamed from above. Caw! The beast looked up and noticed the first rays of sunlight were about to break the horizon. Putting his head down by her face, the imp snarled, We are not finished, little one. They call me the Nightmare Imp for a reason. My blood is now in your blood. We are connected. I will be in your dreams every night. His wings started to beat and he lifted up as he let out a wicked laugh. See you tonight. Ha 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 ha. A soft moan released from Kathleen's mouth. In her subconsciousness, she replied, You wish I would break that easily. I have endured more pain than you know. I am a survivor. You don't scare me, and I'm not afraid to die. I am strong. I am proud. You had better learn my name. You had better protect those eyes. The corners of her mouth rose up while her beaten body was still. Her falcon named Finn swooped down and landed next to her. Finn dug one foot into the forest floor and with the other grabbed her rune of earth. Her trusted companion called, Caw! 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 Several women showed up, each with the same tattoo on their arm. They quickly tended to Kathleen, their warrior and protector of the woodlands. Nargada dropped her hands, bent her head down, and was quiet. Wow, Mom, that was the best story. When I grow up, I want to be like Kathleen. Nargada's face glowed as she replied, Who says you aren't? Already, my sweet daughter, you are strong, proud, and loyal. And that's it. I want to say a very special thank you to Merlin, Realize, and Ando for allowing me to use the Nightmare Imp, Beast number 6. And another special thank you to Panico for his help with my original story. Thank you, everyone.
Sharon, that was amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Man, that just made me love the Nightmare Imp character. The lore you added, where if his blood gets into yours, then he's like, now he can control your nightmares. That's so cool.
Thank you.
And then the way you worked your own warrior into it, when he didn't realize that she was a warrior, he thought she was a wizard, and She just subverted his expectations, and then you worked the Falcon into it. Like that whole story was just a roller coaster. I loved it.
Thank you.
Sharon, I have actually something really funny to tell you. So, as you know, the one who rings was on our team. We've been having him experiment a lot with AI. And one of the AI things that he has been doing is like synthesizing different people's voices. So he very easily synthesized Joe Rogan's voice. He easily synthesized my voice.
Yeah.
The AI tried to synthesize your voice, and in my opinion, it failed.
Oh,
which means
he's got some growing to do.
Yeah, it means you are like AI proof. You are a genuine human being that the robots cannot master yet. So
That's funny.
Just well done. It's so good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I know we're over time, but I want to go over actually some really great cult content that I've seen this week. The first thing I want to acknowledge is Castamere. I saw something from Castamere just today that I don't know if it's new or old, but damn, it's badass. It's this image of me and Bear Snake in an alley. Bear, you know the one I'm talking about.
I love it so much.
How freaking cool do we look in this image?
Cooler than in real life, I'll tell you that.
It's true. And speaking of cooler than in real life, you're wearing the Forgotten Runes jacket, and in this version, it actually looks really cool.
I don't see the actual image on Castamere's feed. Maybe it's just a reply.
Yeah, you can find it.
I'll find
another really awesome piece is Meat Prisoner drew a really great illustration. Meat Prisoner, I want to see more work from you. Your drawings are so damn good, and we don't get enough of your work. But this latest piece is great. I love the little frog that's in the bottom center of the page. So damn good. We also, I'm pulling this all from the Cult Chronicle, by the way, from Tanya Del Rio.
Which, thank you, Tanya, so much. Thank you for putting this together. I look forward to it every week, and it's really amazing.
It's the best. Maui at Wuwinda this is just a nice compilation of the work that she's done in the past 6 months. Just an amazing character designer of Wizards and Warriors both. Love Maui's work. And then Dirtbag Lou has this really awesome GIF of Witch Rowena of the Wild. Just a really amazing, beautiful, complex GIF that just has a ton of scenes in it. Night Owl Birdman made the thing that probably made me laugh the most this week. Just a ridiculous image of his 3D wizard casting an invisible fireball and making a bunch of women on a trampoline just fall down. My description of it is terrible. You just have to see it in action. Black Sand is continuing with massive world building and lore expansion. You've got to see the Black Sand's webpage. Just go to the Black Sand Twitter account to see what they've been building. But, Black Sand is more than just pony races. Black Sand is an entire city and an entire culture unto itself. So definitely go check that out. And then speaking of Tanya Del Rio, not only is she doing the Cult Chronicle, the Canis Coven is just an amazing project that every week I see a little bit more work come out of. And she recently did this fantastic character design of the Artificer Angus of the Mount, a super handsome young wizard if we ever saw one. And then Waz, speaking of all
what I love about Artificer Angus of the Mount is that he's like leaning up against the gate to the 7th realm, which is just incredible. It's so fun.
Yeah. Like she took the original art and then like put it on perspective and up-resed it, and yeah, it's just fantastic. Was actually, speaking of AI, has been doing these really cool AI renditions of the Secret Tower. And there's one of them in the Cult Chronicle. But I think my favorite one I've seen you do is it looks like an old like Renaissance painting. It actually looks like Rembrandt painted the Secret Tower. It's one of my favorite versions I've seen. I don't know if it's public, but you should definitely share that one. Another piece of favorite, one of my favorite pieces of cult content this week is from Wise Sam. I don't even know what it is, but it's this hilarious little pixel animation of the Wise Sam wizard racing the Emma wizard. It's hilarious.
I think that Wise Sam has animated a good amount of I don't know if these are like Pokemon Game Boy. I don't know my Game Boys or my Pokemon games, but I think that he's done quite a few of the wizards in this style, and I would like to see more of that.
Yes, this definitely has a Pokemon vibe to it. I'm guessing that's what it is. But yeah, it's so freaking cute. It's just ridiculous. We need to see all the wizards in this style now.
Yeah.
So get on that, Wise Sam.
Yeah.
And then Dai did a really fun piece, an homage to the resurrected wizard Oberon, who returned from the Quantum Shadow. A super fun piece. Daniela Illustra has another really great illustration of a warrior, a mushroom warrior, Stewie, hero of the wood. And then there's just tons of fun memes from the Hall of Cats. I don't even know what to say about them. It's Hall of Cats. But yeah, excellent cult content this week. And I think that's all I've got. Oh, let's see. We've got a question from Tupac Shock. It looks like we've got a goblin. Tupac, I'm going to bring you up.
What?
We love the goblins. Tupac Shock, hello.
Connecting.
Tupac, hello.
It says connecting.
Oh, darn. Well,
guess that's not going to work out.
Yeah.
I really wanted to hear your question.
Elf, it's 3:15.
Oh, you got to go pee-pee, Bear? Is that the problem?
Listen.
Okay. All right. Well, then, if that's the case, we'll let Bear go pee-pee. And this has been Elf, Dotta, Bear Snake, Sharon, Reilly Brown. There he is. There he is. Thanks, Bear. Channeling out from the Quantum Downs. GN, everybody. Or just hopes of weed and real sleep.